Well, hello. This video is going to be less what's going on in the daily life of Kyle and Caitlin in Taiwan, a little more serious. 2 nights ago? No.
It was last night.
Last night for us, which would have been Thursday night. So Thursday morning for you all who are in the U.S. We got a call from our social worker, one of our social workers, the one who's worked the most with us in this adoption process. Let me back up. So throughout this whole process, it's been kind of difficult for social services here to get a hold of our daughter's birth family for whatever reason. But they were actually able to get a hold of them Monday or Tuesday, I think is what they said. And have set up a meeting for us to meet them Monday, the 13th for us. So that'd be the 12th Sunday for you in the U.S. Initially, a lot of emotions at first, a lot of conflicting emotions. Those of you who've been through this or who are currently going through this understand we're not given a lot of time to process this, just a few days.
And to be fair, it had been on the itinerary that this meeting, if it were to happen, would be on Monday afternoon.
Yeah. But
the track record that this family had up to this point was such that they were very hard to contact. And so we hadn't really prepared ourselves for this kind of eventuality.
Yeah.
Because we just, honestly, and it's our fault, assumed that it just wasn't going to happen.
And there was other circumstances in the past, before we came to know our daughter, that really supported our idea that we wouldn't be seeing them. So we won't get into those details. So I'm just going to be completely honest. My initial reaction was anger and frustration and complete defensiveness. My whole thing was, why should I give them the opportunity to meet us? Why now? What good is this going to do? Feeling very protective of our daughter, which she won't be there. That's not the point of this meeting, and it would not be healthy for her in this situation. So we were able to talk it through with some of our very close friends, the McPartlands, who are also one of the 4 pioneer Taiwan quarantine adoption families. They're currently finishing out or about to start their second week of quarantine at the hotel we were currently in. And they're kind of going through sort of the same situation. And so they've had some time to process. So it was really helpful for me to be able to talk with Keely and hear her thoughts about it, and her advice was super helpful and kind of talked me off the edge. I'm the one who tends to snap right to how I feel. Kyle's really good about taking a beat and just kind of letting it sink in first. I'm just way more reactionary when it comes to, I guess, something where I feel threatened or it's new territory. So that was just my reaction. We also got to talk with our friends Jacob and Christina, who are kind of in a similar situation in domestic adoption world, and just really gained a lot of wisdom and encouragement from both families as they have already walked through or are currently walking through this very situation. So we are very grateful to God that He has connected all of us in that way, because we have 3 days before this happens, and that's not a lot of time. And it's not enough time to process through this. It's not going to be.
They asked us if we had any questions that we wanted to ask the birth family. It's like, how do we come up with something as huge as that in 3 days? We came up with a few, and we'll continue thinking about it. But
my initial reaction was, no, I don't have any, I don't have anything to ask them. I don't have anything to ask them. But after talking to our friends and calming down,
I told Caitlin, and I won't speak for her in this, but for me, this is one of the first times when I've had to actually fully tell myself, okay, this isn't about you.
Yeah.
We know that
We know it's not about us.
Right. Yeah. And we've always known that. But in this case, it's like, oh, shoot, it really isn't about us.
Yeah.
This is about what's best for our daughter and finding out information that she will want to know when she's older about these people that we don't know. And yeah, so we are now tasked with helping.
We're being the intermediaries for this situation. And
yeah,
we are, when she asks those questions, and this isn't us talking, this is people that we know and love who have had experience. This is them talking, us relaying that information on. But as, you know, when she's older, what an amazing gift to be able to give her when she asks, do I look like my birth mom? And we will have pictures. We already knew we were going to have pictures of birth family, including she has a little brother. We already knew that was going to happen, to be able to tell her, yes, we have met your parents. Yes, we have met your brother. And you look like your mom. You have the same chin, or you have your dad's eyes, or to be able to say that we saw those things firsthand is an incredible gift to us that we can pass on to her. But I won't deny that those feelings, especially the feelings I had, Kyle had said he was more curious, I think, is what you said at first. That was one of the first things you said. You're curious. I'm the one who has the temper. Not temper, but I'm passionate and maybe a little more verbal about it than I should be. But this is a safe place. Our hotel room is a safe place. My husband is a safe place. So we can talk about those things without causing a lot of problems.
And a public YouTube video is a safe place.
Not really. But you all have been incredible, praying for us along in this journey, supporting us, loving us, encouraging us. And so this is just another thing that we want to ask that you pray for. And please don't comment about your thoughts on this matter, because honestly, that doesn't matter. What matters is what's best for her. I've kind of taken the stance of, okay, you know, I want to protect my child. I don't want to do this. I don't want to know this information. I just want to shelter her, to being the one who can carry this emotional burden for her until she's ready to know more information, until she asks those questions, until she probes deeper about her story and where she came from. And of course, we're taking the stance that this is an open book, and we will tailor what we tell her according to her age and what is appropriate for her to know. But we will very openly talk about her foster family and her birth parents if she asks questions. That's part of her. So she deserves to know those things. And
who are we to keep part of her story from her? Right,
exactly. So please, if you have thoughts or opinions, just keep them to yourself.
Encouragement welcome.
Encouragement is welcome. But, and I will say, those of you who've walked this, you get it, you understand. I don't have to tell you twice.
And that's why we wanted to make a video like this. I mean, it's still very raw for us.
Yeah, it is.
It's still very fresh, but it's part of the journey.
It is.
It's part of the journey that many other adoptive couples who may be watching these videos down the road as part of their own journey are going to hopefully gain some encouragement from, and maybe just a teensy little bit of insight, whatever we can provide as we stumble through this ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I completely lost my train of thought. Gosh darn it. Yeah, so this is how this morning went. We had our phone call at 9 a.m.
With
two social workers, our social worker and then the birth family's social worker, because she works with them one-on-one and knows a lot more information. And she was very helpful in preparing us for this meeting. They were both very, very thorough in explaining to us what we need to expect and how we need to kind of approach this. So after that phone call, you know, we kind of updated our families, and then I went back to sleep. Slept for a couple hours, woke up, we ate a late lunch. Still just kind of reeling from this, but the more we talk about it, the more we validate our own feelings as being valid. That was very redundant. But then also saying, where do we go from here? Instead of sitting in that frustration. Oh, sorry.
You're banging on the table.
That's how I feel. Instead of just sitting in it and being upset and kind of stuffing those feelings. So our focus is her and her well-being. One bright spot of the call was we got to kind of talk about things that are happening in her life. They got to update us a little bit. And she actually graduated from her kindergarten. and they took video and pictures, and they said she did a really good job and that they'll give those to us. And that was a huge heartwarming moment for me. Very exciting. So we'll be glad to get that. We're about to leave here, well, about an hour or so. We're going to leave and go meet some people for shaved ice. That sounds really sketchy. We're just going to meet some people for shaved ice. Another Taiwan adoptive family who actually lives here in Taiwan and reached out to us, and we're going to go meet them for shaved ice. Should be a good time. Again, thank you all for everything you've done, everything you're doing, and everything you will do. We are continually humbled and overwhelmed by your support. We'll talk to you later.